Well, the city is inviting you to take part in 2026 budget committee process by joining one of 2 telephone town halls this week, Wednesday and Thursday. For more on how this works and how you can get involved, we're joined by City Manager Paul Johnson. Paul, thanks a lot for joining us. So let's start off with this. There's going to be a couple of options. There's, of course, the telephone town hall, and then there's in person. For the telephone town halls, how does this work?
Well, it works in a couple of ways. One is we're going to be starting to call people randomly and give them an opportunity to know about this and sign up to join on Wednesday or Thursday. But the other piece is that Torontonians themselves can find the toll-free number. It's on our website, toronto.ca/budget, and you may have it there, the actual number. And people can call in once the show begins. We're on from 7 to 8:30, both Wednesday night and Thursday night. So lots of chance to participate. There's a moderated way that you can ask your questions in real time. So what will happen on the broadcast is there'll be a bit of an overview by the mayor and the chair of the budget committee, Councillor Carroll, as well as myself and our chief financial officer, to just sort of set the stage about the budget that's proposed for 2026. And then it really is hearing about the questions, the concerns, and the comments of Torontonians. We've done this for the last couple of years, and it's really a great interchange of ideas.
Okay, so we have been putting that number, showing that number on the screen. It's going to last from 7 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. Wednesday and Thursday. For people who are calling in, by what time do they need to call in? And if they have questions or are concerned, what's the process for getting that across?
So my suggestion is they call in just as it begins, because as I say at the beginning, we're going to give some background information, let people know a little bit about the budget, and we'll be providing all the information about how people can ask their questions. There's a way that the moderators and the company that works this system will be able to take people's questions. We'll be able to see them and be understanding who's next. So it's works very much like any other call-in show. You could be calling in to talk about your favorite Toronto sports team, as you can see from my background behind me. But in this case, it's something very, very serious, which is, of course, the budget of the city of Toronto. So it will work very much like that. We'll have moderators that will help out. And then people can either type in their question and it'll just get asked by the moderator and we will answer it, or they get a chance to actually ask the question live to the mayor, to the chair of the budget committee, or to the chief financial officer, Steve Conforti, or myself.
Okay, so we have the 2 telephone town halls. That's going to be Wednesday and Thursday. But then also the public meetings are scheduled for Tuesday, January 20th, as well as Wednesday, January 21st. Should people plan to attend, the town hall as well as the public meetings, or is it one or the other?
Well, this is all about choice. I mean, you can attend as much as you want. This is about participation. So the in-person deputations allow Torontonians to have a few minutes to share with members of the budget committee their thoughts. Those are those in-person meetings. And so you can register for those online. And again, all this information, toronto.ca/budget, gives you the opportunity to be there. So some people like to come in person or be virtual for those meetings. Some like to listen to the town hall and have a chance to chime in with the messages. And then, of course, leading up to this, we've had thousands of Torontonians take our budget survey and also participate in some pre-budget launch opportunities to share their thoughts on the budget for 2026. So this is all an exercise in making sure that people have their say, and all the way through the process, we try and reflect what Torontonians are saying. So the budget launch that occurred last week incorporates some of the key themes that we're hearing from Torontonians, and now is the chance to further hone those ideas before the mayor provides her budget to council no later than February 1st. So all part of the process of people being engaged.
Okay, Paul, you just said it, part of the process of people being engaged, but I need to hear your soapbox pitch. Why should people take part in this? Why should they want their voices heard?
Well, 2 reasons. They're investors in the city of Toronto through their taxes or through their fees and through the things that they do each day. So you have a vested interest in how that's going to be affected through this budget. And then the second piece is we are recipients of service as Torontonians. I am, you are, and all of the folks that live, work, play, and learn here are. And so it's really important to understand where those investments will be made this year, because budgets are always, about choices. And this choice has been based around affordability. The mayor was very clear. And those affordability choices are in places like a lower than expected, I think, and certainly a lower than traditional tax increase this year. It's things like fare freezes on TTC, fare capping on TTC, providing more meals for students in school who need it. So all of these things are part of the budget. So if you care about the services that are delivered, the day-to-day services, it's important to be involved. But also, if you care about your taxes and the fees and the other things that take place in order to run this city, that's also the reason to be involved in the budget. I always say this is the single biggest thing that the council will do each year, because without our budget, the nearly $19 billion in operating and the $63 billion over 10 years in our capital plan, without those resources, the City of Toronto just doesn't function. And so this is a really important time for people to care about things and get involved as they see fit.
Okay, I do have to ask, do you legitimately take the feedback from people and implement it?
Absolutely. And if you look at, for instance, what happened in the pre-budget consultations, where there's a lot of stress about safety in our community and affordability, you see that reflected in this budget. So the things that people come out and talk about, where they'd rather see some more investment in some of our core services, the cleanliness of our city. Over the years, we've improved the cleanliness by investing in our park cleanups, investing in cleanliness in our recreation facilities and city facilities. So I can actually, point through successive budgets where the input from the public has helped shape where we're headed. So it is really important. As I say to folks when I talk to them one-on-one, of course, not every idea can be incorporated in the budget. We're a city of over 3 million people, and there's lots of opinions on what should be there. But the key themes that come out do help shape our budget, and the key themes that will come out of these consultations will help finalize the budget. So for those who say, well, the budget's already been launched, what more can happen? There's always a little room. The mayor has not yet presented her budget. That happens by February 1st. And I know in speaking to the mayor regularly, she's really looking forward to these last pieces of feedback that we get from the public before we head into our budget deliberations at council in February.
All right, City Manager Paul Johnson, ahead of tomorrow's town halls over the phone as well as Thursday. Thanks a lot.